Welcome everyone, wherever you are in the world, to our Synergy Homeopathic monthly training on SHS. It's the first Friday of every month, and thank you all for attending. We really appreciate it. I hope you've come with your questions. This time is your time, and whatever questions you have about the program, I'm happy to try to answer them. And I know we just had a release go out for the Mac users. I can cover some of those enhancements that you are seeing on our release notes. The Windows users, you will be getting the very same update on Monday, September the 9th. So I will start with that. Maggie is going to be joining me momentarily, and she will field most of the questions as soon as she gets here. But I'll go ahead and get started without her and just jump into showing you the release notes, the enhancements. Okay, let me open up SHS. And everybody who is a Mac user should have gotten the note about the update. And under help about, your program should now read 1.4. That's where that update will lead you. And you should have also gotten the release notes about what that's all about. We did some bug fixes, various bug fixes, but there were some enhancements, some minimal enhancements, not a lot this time. We're saving the bulk of our enhancements for our next release, which we're hoping will come out this year as well. We'll see about that. So let's get started. I'm going to open up the release notes here. All right. The first one I'll talk about is the use of the addition of this R icon that you see on your clipboard. So let's talk about that for a minute. I'm going to open up this clipboard here. And again, sorry, Windows users, but just keep this in mind for Monday when you're able to update as well. And of course, I'll be happy to cover questions that don't have anything to do with these enhancements. It won't take us long to cover them. There are only a few. So this here, what this does is it helps you to hone in on specific rubrics. So let's say that you think envy here in this clipboard is a very important rubric. You want to give it a higher grade. So to grade a rubric, you can either right-click and select grade this way. You can also highlight the rubric and use your numeric keypad. So I'm just going to hit the number 4 on my keypad, and that does this very same thing. And so what this icon does is it allows you to hone in on that higher graded rubric. Or you know, if you want to do 3 and 4 graded rubrics, it actually gives you a selection for a lot of them, but I'm going to go ahead and just do this one, the one that has 4 underlines, which is the only one I've graded. And you can see what that did over here on the graph side. It honed in on that rubric that has the higher grade so that all the remedies within that rubric came to the forefront. And Maggie, when you get here, just let me know. Once I've finished something, I will go look at the chat or the questions in order to answer questions. But let me just finish this here. Let's say that we also want to grade one of these rubrics a 3. Let's say vertigo in pregnancy. We want that to be a 3. So I'm highlighting it and I'm putting a number 3 from my keyboard. Again, you could have right-clicked and chosen the option that way. On a Mac, a right-click is control-click. So now I've got 2, I've got 1 rubric graded a 3 and 1 rubric graded a 4. And I'm going to choose that option here. I want to hone in on the rubrics that are graded 3 and 4. And you can see both of them came to the forefront. Now, it's not like crossing. It's different from crossing because what happens is when you cross, you want the similar remedies in both those rubrics. But what this does is it brings those rubrics to the forefront where you're able to see them. And you can see that there are little holes here. They allowed for the pregnancy rubric is smaller. And so they brought those remedies forward, and you are going to have some little holes where the envy rubric does not cross with the smaller rubric. But they're both brought to the forefront. All right, let me open up the chat since Maggie's not here yet and see if anybody has any questions about it. Andreas is saying, did you notice that when changing envy to grade 4, nothing in the graph changed? I will address that. Joanne says, when I create a new patient, oh, okay, I'll get to the patient question in just a moment. But let's answer Andreas's question here. It didn't change. You're right about that. And I think what you have to do if you want it to change is select most rubrics considering intensity. And right now I just have the most rubrics selected. But I know that there have been some, the development team has been studying this issue in the strategies, and we're gonna, make sure that it's all right for the next update. But if we were to select this, okay, you can see how it changed. And I'll change it back. Most rubrics, okay. And it went back. Does anyone have any other questions about this R icon change? Andrea says, okay, but what is the difference between the intensity strategy and the R? The R isn't really a strategy. It's just a way for you to bring certain rubrics to the forefront. It kind of brings them forward so that you can study them. So let me show you again how that works. I'm going to take that pregnancy off and just deal with the one right now. And we're going to go look at that again. And you can see it brought this rubric to the forefront where all those remedies are. I'll turn this that way. So I toggled away from the clipboard so you can see more of the graph. You toggle with these arrows here. And so you can see this rubric is all the remedies are brought to the forefront. And then you can see the interplay with the other rubrics. And it just allows you to see what are those remedies in this rubric, and they all come to the front. So that's what that's doing. I hope I answered your question, Andreas. Joanne, let me quickly just say, when I create a new patient, the font is in italics. There's no changing it. When you open a new chart, this name is always going to be like that. It is what it is. It's italics and it is what it is. There's no changing it. Okay. Let me go on to the next. Okay, let me see what the chat is. Andreas, that new R, let's say that you wanted to, that was the most important rubric in your clipboard. And so you wanted to kind of bring it to the forefront. I think that's the basic purpose of the R. And I actually asked somebody in development today, I said, in my mind, I'm going to explain this R icon that it's bringing all the remedies in that rubric to the forefront where they can study that particular rubric very, very closely in relation to the other rubrics in the clipboard. And I said, what else can I say about the R? And I never heard back. So I can bring that up at the next training or get Rupali to discuss it more if I learn more about it. Okay, we'll move on to the next enhancement. Andreas, I'm glad. Okay. And Peggy is asking, first, let me answer this very quick question about the update, because I think this training is going to kind of be about the update. And I'm happy to answer other questions as I did for Joanne, but let's, I think I can see now that this training is going to be a lot about the update. Peggy is saying she ran the updater and it did not update. There should be a pop-up. Did you try restarting your SHS program? If you're not seeing a pop-up to give you that prompt to update, then try closing SHS and reopening it. Now, be sure you back up your cases. Everything should be fine if you don't back them up, but just in that odd case, where something might go wrong, go ahead and back up your cases, then close SHS, quit SHS, restart it. And if you're still not getting the pop-up, then you'll need to submit a ticket for tech support. And again, this is for Mac, because the Windows people won't get the pop-up until Monday. Okay, good. All right, let's go on to the next enhancement. I'm going to close the chat. The next one is you can use the key icon to review the remedies specific to your current graph. And I want to say here that Mac Repertory had a similar feature where you could go one by one to the remedies in your graph and explore them in reference library, actually in the keynotes. And so we have the same feature with a little bit of a difference, and I'll show you that difference. Here we are. I'm going to go to clipboard number 2 that has these 2 rather small remedies because I want to demonstrate this with rubrics that are somewhat small so that you can understand it fully. And so I'm going to click the key. This is a new feature. It's going to take me into reference library. And let me open my graph again. Okay, hold on just a second. I think I had a filter on before. Let me turn off that filter and try this one more time. We're clicking the key. Okay, here we go. This is better. All right, and so let me open the graph so that you can see what I'm talking about here. And I'm going to toggle away from the clipboard so you can see the graph. And I'm going to bring this smaller, adjust my window there. Okay, so what happened was when I clicked on the key, it brought me to reference library where I have a filter placed. And the filter is all about giving you the remedies that are in your graph. So you only have the remedies in your graph here now in reference library. You can see there are a dozen remedies here and they're all listed here. Now in the old program with the keynotes, it would go in the order of the remedies in the graph. You'd see jade, then addicts, then amethyst. When you go to reference library with this particular enhancement, you get those remedies, those 12 remedies, but they're in alphabetical order. And so you would just go to jade down here in alphabetical order. And so that's that enhancement. Let me see what the chat is saying, because Maggie hasn't made it yet, I see. Okay, I will show you how to back up cases. You do need yes, Andreas makes a very good point. You must be connected to the internet in order to get that pop-up message about the update. So most people are connected to the internet all the time, it's just a given, but some people aren't. One of my older computers, I don't keep connected to the internet. And so you will need to connect to the internet to get your message about the update. And Suzanne is saying, I got the pop-up and I'll restart later. Hope it works. Okay. Yeah, our patient management and the saving, no huge changes have been made there, but I think it works pretty well once you understand it. Some people have a hard time understanding, why do I have to click save again with the clipboard window and things like that. But I can cover that again today if we have time. Oh, I think Maggie's here now. Hi, Maggie.
Hi, Lucy. Hi. And maybe you might do the backup when you get a chance.
Okay. All right. Yes. Let me do that real fast because that does have to do with the update. And so you have to know how to back up your cases. The way you do that is under user preferences. And by the way, in the mailing that you're getting about the update, if you click on the here in that image, it will give you instructions on how to back up your cases. But it's under user preferences, backup and restore, and you just hit here, backup. I think I backed up pretty recently, but you see I've got a certain folder that I have created. If you haven't yet created this folder, come down here and you select new folder and you create a folder for yourself, okay? but I've already created this. And so I'm going to hit back up. And then once you get that green message, you're good to go. You're backed up. And it backs up on your computer. Like we have nothing to do with your backups. We don't keep anybody's backups. It all backs up on your own individual computer. So I hope that's clear.
Thanks, Susie.
Okay. And I will go to the next enhancement. We covered this one. Okay, so this was something that a lot of people I think used to be able to do this in the old programs, and so they've requested it for SHS, and we can do this now. And let me show you what I mean by this one, enhancement number 3, where you can copy the remedies as text. Okay, so I'll go back to SHS. I'll go back to my clipboard. And if you it doesn't matter which of these remedies you choose to hover your mouse on, just hover your mouse over the remedies, whichever one, copy remedies as text. You select that. Okay. And now I'm going to go into my chart. Let's see the test. Actually, let me open that one. I think I had closed it earlier. And, you know, you can choose any one of these sections in order to paste. So I'll choose any section, symptoms, previous treatments, diagnostics, patient notes, comments. I'll put it under comments. And I'm going to hit paste. And then all those remedies that were in the graph are pasted into the chart. But I'll go to a Word document as well and open that. And so you can do it in a document outside of SHS as well. Okay. Any questions on that, Maggie?
No, thank you.
Okay. So the next one is viewing rubrics in ascending or descending order within a repertory chapter. So this would allow you to focus on the small rubrics or larger rubrics. And I'll go back to SHS and we'll go into a chapter. Okay. All right. And so it's this icon right here is the new one. I'm going to click on it. The default is your norm, of course, the alphabetical way that you normally see a chapter's rubrics. But I'm going to click on ascending. And you see it jump to all the 0 rubrics. Now, the ones that have the plus sign next to them have subrubrics. So let's say we wanted to go into the morning subrubrics, and those are in ascending order. Okay, but then once you get down past the 0s, you can see that it's still ascending. So we're down on the single remedy rubrics here and going on down, you know, small rubrics, 3 remedies, 6 remedies, whatever. It goes in ascending order. Okay, so because it's sometimes nice to, I guess, Maggie, why would you use this? I think it's fun to see what the single remedy or the small rubrics are about, you know, because sometimes we focus on those larger remedies and you kind of forget about the small ones. And, you know, maybe you're looking for a strange, rare, and peculiar, and it would be easier to find it this way, perhaps. And you can very easily go back to default, right? Now you're back to the way you were. And then if you want to see the descending, you just come here and click descending. And let me go back up to the top. For some reason, it did not open at the very, very top. And so now you are seeing the largest rubrics on down. And this is sometimes good, you know, if you're one of those people, you want to make sure you have the remedy in the rubric you choose. So you maybe want to focus on those larger remedies, excuse me, those larger rubrics. And get back to default like this. Okay, let's see what the next one is. The next one is using the arrows in the repertory chapters to go backwards and forwards. That's pretty self-explanatory. I probably don't need to show you too much of that. You know, we're here and I click the back arrow and I go back to, you know, that rubric that I opened, clicked on to go to the sub-rubrics. All right, and so you can just go back and forth according to whatever history you've had with the rubric searches. All right, and so this one here is the last enhancement. We had concepts before in your version of SHS, but it has been improved. And I think it's going to be improved even more in the next version that we come out with. They're going to have even more statistical types of things that you can look at for remedies. All right, let's go back to the program. I'll show you this. It's under advanced search, concepts. And here you would select, I'm going to go select a remedy. Let's say we want to look at ammonium carbonicum. And I'm going to hit apply, and then you see it down here, and I'm going to hit search. And it's looking in the reliable repertory. It's pulling this information from the reliable, which you see that I had chosen there. Okay, and so before, when you had concepts, you did not have this gradation. It was just a solid blue line. This is showing you how many, it's broken it down, how many of the remedies are grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4. So it's broken it down for you. And what this tells you is that ammonium carbonicum, for instance, has a lot of rubrics in the extremities chapter, in the mind chapter, hardly any in the kidney chapter, prostate chapter. You know, it's just a good way to kind of get a feel for where this remedy is represented in the materia medica. And then the other piece of that is to compare this remedy to all the other remedies in the repertory by clicking on this icon. And then the line that they're all, you know, lined up against is the norm. You know, there's an average number of rubrics. And it shows you where your remedy falls in the average, in the big average of all the remedies in that rubric, in the rubrics. And so again, extremities, ammonium carbonicum has 145 more rubrics than the average in that chapter. What I find interesting is that even though it showed up pretty strong in the mind chapter, it has negative 85 rubrics to the average. So I think that tells you that a lot of remedies have mind rubrics. And so it might show up strong in the mind chapter, but a lot of remedies do show up very strong in that chapter. Maggie, what questions do we have?
There's just some people asking about concept search, and I'm just saying, Lucy, that there's a lot of work been done in this area, including some new things in the next version of the program that will be coming.
Yes, yes. This, like I said, is an improvement over what you had in 1 through 3. It shows you the gradation, and it shows you the comparison of the remedy to all the other remedies in the rubric, in the chapters. But we have more improvements to come there.
Lucy, Nancy is asking, is there a way to send a patient file to supervisor?
Okay, so you can certainly copy the graph and send that. It's difficult to do that. You would have to have the same patient management login as your supervisor in order for her to easily open your patient cases. And we set that all in place because of HIPAA. You know, we want their data to remain safe. And so it's not that easy to share between people. But you can certainly, you know, copy and paste information from the chart to a Word document. You can take a picture of the graph and that sort of thing. did I answer the question? Maggie, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I'm just taking note of it here to share it again as a request with development.
Oh, okay. I think HIPAA is going to make it hard to make that easy to do. I mean, I know back in the days of the old programs, you know, all the HIPAA restrictions were not in place at that time, and it was a lot easier to share things. But it's harder now. All right, and any other questions on the enhancements, or should we move on to just open the questions to anything?
Okay, you've gone through all the enhancements, Lizzie, have you?
I did, yeah.
Okay, Lisa is asking, how do I find a symptom in a specific repertory? Let's say a hardened nodule on the shin after a sports injury. I want to see this in booger and in complete rep.
Okay. Well, I would use global search, and you know, your result in global search brings you to all your repertories, and you just select Boger from the result. And so you have to think about how you want to word your the Boger language. Again, is the older language because he's back from the 19th century. And so, so you might want to say, well, I know injury, nodule. I'm just going to start. You know, you start, and if it doesn't work, you try something else. And actually, I'm going to not just say nodule, but I want to use some synonyms for that because I'm not sure the word nodule is going to be found in that repertory. I'm just not sure. And so nodule, we could say lump, right? Lump might be in that repertory. I'm just going to put injury. I'm going to also have injury there. I want to, you know, make sure that I try to cover all the concepts that you're, you know, looking for. And so I'm going to go ahead and run this. And I don't see anything in Boger. Now, your reliable repertory certainly has leg splints. We don't want skin nodules on the shin bones. Now that's interesting. There's one remedy for that. That's kind of interesting. But you know what we could also do? Maggie, did you have a suggestion?
No, sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard you say something. We could also go to Nares and see not everybody has the same repertory. No, you don't want that. Okay. You could also go into that repertory. Here it is. Let me explore this for a minute. And you go to extremities. And then we want, interesting. Get out of limbs in general. Okay, we want lower. See, each repertory is set up differently. And so I was just in the extremities chapter because that was where my eye went. And a lot of the other repertories would have all the extremity information in the extremities chapter, but I'm actually going to go to extremities lower, which is something that Boger has. And let's see here, we can go to I'm just going to check out legs. You see it has sub-rubrics. Nope, we don't want that. Calf would not be right because that's not really the shin. No, bruised calf. No. And so then we can go to lump and just see if lump comes up. Nope, left. Just going to scroll here for a minute. So it's interesting that you're focused on this repertory. I guess, have you had a lot of good experience with this repertory? Looking at my options here. Bones. So let's go try to find a bigger rubric, say in the reliable, which I know you have. Injury lump. I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to focus in on the shin for the moment because I'm just trying to kind of hone in. Okay. We are getting some ruda, but that was interesting. Lump might not be the word I want then. Injury shin. Let's go there. It's good to play around with okay, we got that same. Let's don't use the word injury. Let's say nodule, lump, and let's say leg. Let's see what we get here. Okay, a little bit bigger result here. Extremities, we've got nodules on the legs, but that's an eruption. That's not really what you're looking for. Painful swelling on the calf. And skin, I think, is going to be more about eruption as well. Going to the complete. These, we have the eruptions. I'm going to use.
I don't know if you saw the comments there from Lisa. She's saying, I want to be able to find calc floor, which helps with hardened bumps.
Ah. Okay. You know, one thing you might want to do with that is if you're looking for confirmation that calc floor does that, you can, let me turn off this filter, whatever it is. Okay, I'm going to go into calc floor. I'm going to look for that. And you can look at the reverse repertory as well. Let's see if Boja has one. Here we are, Boja synoptic. Indurations of stony hardness glands. But I don't see leg here, and that's why we didn't find it. I didn't use the word hardness, indurations. Here's nodes in the breasts. So sometimes you can come here to see, you know, if you know a remedy has a certain feature, you can go and look at it in the reversed repertory in your reference library. I'm in reference library. So we could try to use the word hardness, induration. We could try induration. Is that, Maggie, would you say that's similar to a nodule in a way?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we could try, let's try induration and see what we come up with. Induration. And we could put leg. Let's try to hone in on that leg or.
Least thing is after injury.
What's that? After injury. Okay. Well, let's don't put too much up here because we can find the rubric easier if we have choices. Lower extremities. I'm putting leg and lower extremities. Okay. Nothing in the complete. You know what I want to do actually is induration after or injury. I'm going to put induration injury. It takes sometimes time to find the right words to find what you're looking for. Okay, we don't want it in the female chapter or the chest. Let's go to generalities. Induration of the glands after injury is conium. We all know that. Let's go to, I don't see anything the complete. Let's go to the sane and see if we have generalities. Okay, we've got something in the sane repertory here. Blows, falls, bruises, indurations following at the site of injury. So here we have 11 remedies. So the whole finding a rubric can be a process. You have to know what words to search up top, and then you have to know that you maybe have to go look in a different repertory if you're not finding what you need in the first one that you look at. Does this seem like a satisfactory rubric? based on what you said.
Okay, Lisa, if you want us to look at something else on this, will you just let me know here? She's saying she just saw calc floor in the complete. Looking
Oh,
for,
and it's here as well. But you know what? Let's go. And this is I hope it's not a tedious process for people, but I want to go look at calc floor actually in the complete reversed, because I want to know how that we didn't see that in our search for induration. So I want to show you all how it's good to know and be flexible in your language, because the different repertories have different language about things. I found a pretty nice rubric in the same repertory, but the complete wasn't even in that result. Let's go look at the reversed complete with calc floor. Go down to extremities here. And we could also check out generalities, because I know generalities was where we found that sane rubric. Okay, here's extremities. Callosities, horny callosities, but we'd want that. And I'm going to type to search injury also. And I'm in the reference library, and I'm in a particular book, and I'm using this little type to search window over here. And I want to put the word injury because I want to see if in this extremity chapter, we can combine the word injury with an idea of the endnote. Let me go down to the generalities chapter, actually. Let me just look here real fast. Inflammation, it's not quite what you're looking for. Nodes. So nodes, legs, nose, legs, and that has 18. This has 18 remedies in it. Now, it doesn't necessarily connect to injury though, but this might be something that you would look at. Nodes on the lower limbs, 63. Nodosities. Okay, so swellings, a swelling, unless it's a hardness, maybe it was a hard node, not just a swelling. I think of something else when I think of swelling. Let's pop into the generalities chapter for just a moment. And I'm actually going to try injury again here as well. Okay. Let's see if they have injury.
Lisa says yes, she's just looking for a bump that got hard.
Looking for what?
A bump that got hard.
A bump that got hard. So it's a hardness. Yeah.
And she's saying that the nodes lay.
Oh, look at this one, hardness after injuries. So you know what I might want to do here is come up here and do hardness injury. So, it's good to, and you're going to find that in your rubrics. Let's run this.
Sorry to cut across you. When you're looking at a rubric there in the reversed repertory, Lisa is saying, I can see that there are a number of remedies in a particular rubric. How do I find out what the remedies are?
Yes. Okay, I can show you that. But I also put hardness injury up here and complete repertory. We're going to come here and we're going to go down to the generalities. And I think these are some nice, very nice rubrics for you as well. Hardness after injuries, that has 10. This has to do with glands, so that doesn't sound, if it's the shin, you probably don't want that top one. But here we have also this one that has this bottom one after bruises, swelling, hard swelling. So we've got a couple there and we found it. So if you're in here, another way you can do that is, where were we? After injuries. Actually, yeah. You just have to go find it in the, for some reason I was thinking I could double click and go to it, but no, that's when I'm in here. When I'm here and I want to go to the rubric and the repertory, I double click to get from the search module to the repertory module where I can, look around and see if there's anything else in that particular area. But you're pretty much seeing it here. So take those words you find in the reversed repertory, throw them up in global search, and you can then find those rubrics very, very easily. Okay, any other questions about this?
No, Lisa says, thank you.
Sure. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not always easy to find that rubric you want. And so it is a great idea sometimes, especially if you're like, well, I know Calc Floor will help this. And so then to go explore Calc Floor and know that language within that, particular repertory that you're interested in. So any other questions?
Yes, Irina has a question about patient management.
Okay.
She's saying, when I do my first repertorization, and after doing the repertorization, I want to save it, I have difficulties when I start my patient's file. I cannot find new session. I only see graphs from the past.
Okay. So you're trying to actually do a follow-up?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're trying to do a follow-up. All right, let's go. Do I have test person? Yeah, I do. Let's go to test person. And you can see I have all these different things I've saved on different dates, 4 consultation lines basically for test person. Let's go into the latest one, which is August 15th. And what I want to do now is it opened those clipboards, it opened that clipboard that was on that date. But what I want to do is put the 3 new clipboards that I have going into a new line signifying today's date. And you have to hit save as new in that instance. So do you see? Okay, so I'm going to click on each line and you'll see how the clipboard changes on the left. I've got these 3 that we were working with these. They have nothing to do with this chart yet. I clicked on March 10th and I get this clipboard with 6 rubrics. May 3rd, a couple different clipboards appeared on the left that I had put in that consultation line. Here, I've got a couple more that are in this consultation line. And here I've just got the 1. Okay, now what I want to do is save as new. All right, I'm going to hit that. Now it always gives you, this is what you had in the last line. Do you want to carry this over? Yeah, sure, let's do. But I want all those new ones as well. And so I'm going to select them all. That means that in this consultation line, 4 clipboards are being saved. And I'm going to hit save. And it's creating a line for today's date, as you can see. Okay, now let's close this. These little pop-up messages occur and I've already saved. I know I've saved, so I'm going to hit yes. All right, and I'm going to come and view patients, go to test person, open it, and we're going to go down and we're going to open this last, and we're going to see 4 clipboards. There they are. So does that process make sense to you, Lisa? And
Irina, I hope that answers your question.
I'm sorry, Rena. Sorry. And let us know if you have another question about that. Now, if I wanted to go and make a change to one of these clipboards, let's say I wanted to add one more rubric to clipboard number 3, I would not hit save as new then, I would hit update, because I would want to retain these 4 clipboards on the consultation line of September 6th. So that's the difference.
Sorry to cut across you. What Irina is saying is, yes, that is creating a new line, so a new consultation date, but my comments are copied from the last session. So it looks like the clipboard she's talking about. It's
yes, the comments do. Like if you want to have different comments, then you have to go into, you scroll to the comments and you delete the old and you put in new. But yeah, they will carry forward. It all carries, everything carries forward unless you make changes. So let's go down here for a minute to consultation date, August 15th. And I'm going to open up this clipboard. I'm not going to make a change to it, but what I'm going to come in here and do is under symptoms, I'm going to put dry cough. Okay. And I'm going to update because I want this to update to that line of August the 15th with that clipboard. Okay. Now, I'm going to close this down for a minute and I'm going to delete what we did with September 6th by clicking on the trash can because I want to redo it. Sure you want to delete it? Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to open up this last line here. And of course, those clipboards are already, oh, they're gone. Okay. Sorry. Let me just throw a clipboard together. Just throw some stuff on a clipboard. Okay. So now I've got a new clipboard because I deleted that and I forgot. Yeah, I had saved those 3 new clipboards to that line. It's deleted, they're gone. So I've got a new clipboard and what I want to do is make a consultation date with today's date. So let's go back to the patient management and I'm going to hit, I'm going to take out dry cough. I'm going to delete dry cough, hit save as new. And of course you could add stuff. I took it out, but you could add new things. And I'm going to choose both clipboards and hit save. And now the new consultation line is here. And under symptoms, you'll see that dry cough is not there. But if I go to the old date, there's dry cough. So when you have new information, you have to make sure you take out the old, put in the new, and then you create your new line.
Thanks, Lucy.
Yeah. Any other, what other questions do we have, Maggie?
I think we've answered all of them.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Well, we could end early. I did have one little thing I wanted to share with everybody. As far as questions go, I got a question from a one-on-one training. And it was, somebody said, how do I find a list of all the fungal remedies? And so I just want to show you that so that you can know how to do that. The way you do that is come into your reference library. And do you see this icon here that's the filter icon? I'm going to select it. I'm going to go to Kingdom. I'm going to type find the fungal sorry. All right, so fungi kingdom, you see, I'm selecting that. And again, I'm in reference library, apply it. And I'm gonna, it says no data because calc fluor is not a fungal remedy. So I'm gonna X out of calc fluor. And now I'm looking only at fungal remedies. So this is a way to hone in on a particular kingdom in your reference library. You just come in here to the filter, find whatever type of remedy you want to look at and filter for it. And then you're only looking at that type of remedy. So I just wanted to show that to everybody because I think it was very helpful to her to see that.
Thank
And
you.
yeah. And so I hope that everybody got all your questions answered. You know, if you still have a lingering question, we have a few more minutes. If you want to quickly type a question. Our next training will be the first Friday in October, which happens to be October 4th. And Rupali will be running that one.
Sorry. Elena is asking, is it the same for birds? So where you were showing the fungi there, could you just show birds?
Yeah, let's do birds. It might be avian, is it? How do you AV?
You might be able to just key in birds, I think.
Maybe I just type in birds. Maybe I'm getting too fancy here. Here we are. Oh, ovs. That was the word I was trying to think of. Okay, birds. And we could probably select that as well. And now you're only looking at birds. And there's a lot to research here. There are a lot of birds that I don't know. My goodness, everybody knows the falcon, of course. You know, the falcons, but a lot of these don't know anything about them. The swans. Any other questions, Maggie?
No, thank you.
All right. Well, we've had a good session. I hope everybody has fun playing with their new enhancements and getting to know what they do. And thank you for coming. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next month.